All right, so we're discussing the real Anton Daniels, who this dude really is. And I did a little research, and I'm going to play a tape, and you will see similar attributes credited to Anton Daniels. And this will be very much who he is as a person.
Hello, I'm Darm again. Today's topic is looking at a male with histrionic personality disorder. This comes from quite a few questions I've had recently around histrionic personality disorder, and particularly regarding relationships and how it presents in the different sexes. Today, I'm going to be looking at a male with histrionic personality. I'm going to look at some of the common behaviors at the beginning of a relationship, during a relationship, and at the end of a relationship. But just to remind you, this video is for information purposes only. Now, histrionic personality disorder is characterized by exaggerated emotionality and attention-seeking behaviors. It's part of the cluster B group of personality disorders, which also includes narcissistic personality, borderline personality, and antisocial personality. And these are all characterized by dramatic, erratic, excitable, and volatile behaviors. It's often confused with narcissistic personality because a lot of the behaviors are very similar. However, there are differences, and I did outline the differences in a previous video.
I'm just sitting here, and when I was doing the disruptive male training, one of the things I noticed is the average man cannot get the woman that he wants. Typically, the average man is dealing with women he will tolerate. And I want you to think, I really want you to think, how many people, let's say you're in a relationship and you go on the internet and you're talking about, I can tell my wife anything. I can tell her that I want to bust down another chick. Okay, I would never go to my boo and say, hey, baby, I'm feeling sexually frustrated with you and I want to go out and try this other chick. Are you okay with that? That is the epitome of disrespect. The epitome of disrespect. Now, this whole notion of it, because I find it to be interesting how the internet, well, it's not interesting. The internet has turned on him because he is a egotistical, combative, controversial figure. He likes living in that drama loop. And this whole thing with all my girls get manis and petties, that's pimp talk. But he's not a pimp. This man doesn't have the sexual chemistry, the ability, the skill sets to get women who want him with burning desire. He does not have those characteristics. Number one, he's short. Number two, he's pudgy. Number three, he doesn't know how to speak to women on an intimate level. He just doesn't. So what you're seeing is the real Anton Daniels, a clumsy, weak, feminine man that has access to a lot of money. Now, let's look at who Anton was before the money. I'm a moral dude. All the people in my family have been married and stayed married. I want to be the man my daughter, like the man my daughter will marry. I want to be, and all of that was a facade. It was a complete, utter facade, because that's not who he really was. And some of his earlier videos, like, I'm going out, I got $1,000 on me, and I'm just sitting there like, okay, what does that convey? What does it convey? In this combative nature, and rest in peace, Alan. Roger Curry did a video defending me, and no one wanted to hear it. And I'm going to go deeper with this, and I'm going to talk about the sexual repression of a lot of black people. A lot of black people have some seriously sexual repressed agency in them. To see a man who had sexual power. This is something that the average black person isn't used to seeing on a large scale now, because that's what I represented. I had sexual power over women. I mean, it got to the point where it became like an intimate part of me that I could literally be out in public and there could be like, say, a group of 30 women, and I can individually, with great accuracy, pick out all of the submissive women in that group of 30 women without fail. Walk up and say virtually whatever I want to say and get away with it. Anton Daniels does not have that type of sexual character. He just doesn't. And one of the things that he sees, and this is why he came from me. He saw I had sexual agency. I had no shame. I talked about it. And then this whole notion with the internet. And I'll say something else. I made a video talking about R. Kelly, and I'll stand by those statements. Now, here's the statements that I made. The women who engaged with R. Kelly knew exactly what they were doing. But because of the law, and which I find to be interesting, you're at a certain age, you cannot consent to sex, but you could do everything else. You can literally join the military and go to war, but you cannot consent to sex. I think that's just crazy. Going back, and if you don't believe me, you can research this on the internet. Elvis Presley was the age of 24 years old, and he was dating a 14-year-old who later on became his wife. This is on the internet. So older men with younger women has been going on since the beginning of time. But for some reason in 2020, now it's like, if you're like 2 years older than a woman, you're grooming her. This woman, I think her name is Drea Michelle. She got pregnant by this young NBA guy. And she's, I think, in her late 30s or 40s. And people on the internet was calling her a sexual predator. She was a pretty ass black woman. She was fine. He saw her, he got horny, he wanted to have sex with her. She said okay, and she got pregnant. How is that woman a sexual predator? I mean, the stupidity. This was on the Joe Budden podcast. He called her a sexual predator. Now, one of the things I consistently see is a lot of these hosts will use inflammatory language to push their show, to push their agenda, whether it makes any sense or not. But when Joe Budden said that, I was like, you must be crazy. This woman is not a sexual predator. He was a young man. He saw a fine ass black woman and he wanted to fuck her. And that's what he did. But back to Shady Daniels. There is so much with this guy. Literally, there are tons of people. Now, this is what's funny. This is what's hilarious. There's a ton of smaller YouTubers all over Shady Daniels. They're all over him. They're making video after him. Mika, they're making video after her. But the larger YouTubers are leaving this alone. For some reason, they're leaving this alone. Now, when it came to me, everybody jumped on it. Everyone jumped on it. People thought my YouTube career was over. And from a day-to-day standpoint, it did nothing to me. It's just now I have this, there's a group of people who will call me a sexual predator because of the video that Anton Daniels made with no facts, no agency, nothing they can prove. But because he made that video about me, that's one of the things that's out there. And now I don't think what's happening to him was anything close to what happened to me. And because one of the things was I had a business that was doing really well and I was living well. And actually, that's when I bought the 2022 Porsche 911 Turbo S. I was just living my life. I didn't really care about these small-minded people who basically, this is a group of folks who are struggling to pay their rent right now. These are the people. And I was like, it doesn't make any sense to even pay attention to these folks. But back to Shady Daniels. One of the things that I see is that the internet at large is full of people who look for someone to follow. And he dropped the right jewels, he said the right things, and a bunch of people followed him. Now, right now, he's getting publicly publicly executed. His public image is being executed, but there's a group of people who will not touch this. O'Shea Duke Jackson, he actually made a video about me in relation to Anton Daniels. And it was really about me, not Anton Daniels. And then I literally kind of pulled away from that stuff. But now I'm speaking my mind because from a psychological standpoint, this dude is damaged. He's damaged. And what I predict as, I don't think she would divorce him now because it's too public. But I would not be surprised in the next 2 years if those two get divorced. Wouldn't be surprised at all, because one of the things that I've seen from people in these open relationships, and then we'll talk about that, is it's cool as long as it's just regular folks. But if someone comes in that is super special, super attractive, this is when the problems begin. And it's just a matter of time before one of them drop in. I think Anton is like 44, something like that. And it's, because this is the thing I saw. Couples who would engage in this stuff, as long as it was with sex with a regular person, it was fine. But if they come across this super special person, problems would begin. This is when divorces would happen. My personal recommendation, if you're married, do not bring another person into your bedroom. Man, woman, do not do that. I would never disrespect my boo, Tressie, by saying, hey, let's bring another woman into the, I wouldn't do that. I'm gonna tell you why I wouldn't do that. Because she's enough. I don't need another woman in bed with us because she's enough. But if you need extra, you're basically saying that my wife, my girlfriend, isn't enough. She's not enough, so I need some extra sauce on my nuggets. But he's a damaged person. This is the reason he came after me so hard, because he saw that I had sexual agency, had sexual power. And the thing is, I was putting up tons and tons of receipts. And, you know, people were getting mad because it's like, how can he get those kind of women? And right now, this is something else too. If you were to go to Truly, a YouTube channel, Truly, you will see story after story after story of regular run-of-the-mill guys with extraordinarily beautiful women. Story after story. And I keep trying to tell dudes, women do not look at us the same way that we look at women. But for some reason, they don't want to hear me. But once you develop your sexual agency to a very high level, it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter. And this is one of the things that most men don't know. I mean, once you understand this about women, and once you understand that, like literally, if I approach 10 women, I would say maybe 3 would say no. So my success rate would be around 70%. I'll take that all day long. You mean to tell me if I talk to 3 women, 2 of them are going to say yes? The odds are in my favor. But once again, the average man is a little punk bitch, scared to talk to women, scared to put his intentions and his desires out there in public because it's like, she may say no. Fine, she said no. Move on to the next one, right? But Shady Daniels has perpetrated a fraud, and now people are going in on him and they're looking at him, and it's all over Reddit and stuff. And this whole notion of him being a fake person, which is something that I said a long time ago, but because, you know, people wanted to label me a sexual predator, it's like, well, we're not going to listen to him. Now you're seeing the real Anton Daniels come out. Now you're seeing who he really is as a person, and he's not a good person. He's not. And this Mika chick, she was married And she's flying up to Detroit to have sex with Anton, disrespecting her husband. And what I think, there was a little payola. I think Anton just didn't buy her gifts. I think he gave her money, which is a sign of the weakness of men with money. Once you develop your sexual agency, once you develop your sexual power, you do not have to give a woman to have money to have sex with her. You just don't. You do not have to do that. So one of the things that you have to understand as a man is, if you work on yourself, you work on your economics, and you work on your male agency, you can get the woman that you want. You can be with a woman that you want to be with. You could be with a woman that every time you look at her, he's like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. This is the thing with men who get with women that they really want. It's a totally different paradigm than getting with a woman that you're tolerating because she's giving you some pussy. Totally, totally different. And that was Anton Daniels' situation when he married Rita. She gave him some pussy and he was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Because he didn't have a lot of options. He just didn't. Now he has money, he has internet fame, now he has options. And I'll say it again, I think it's just a matter of 2-3 years, they'll be divorced. Because I think at some point she's gonna get tired of being disrespected. And right now she's in the videos, she's playing along because it makes money. But once again, we will see. But you will see more of the real Anton Daniels because he doesn't have the ability to contain himself. He just doesn't. And you will see more characteristics. You'll see more stuff. And the fact that he hid the video he made about me, and the lead attorney hid the videos, that tells you that shit was wrong. I was completely set up. But once again, you're dealing with low intellect black folks. They really don't care. They're like, drama, drama, drama. Give me the drama. Give me the drama. And that's one of the things that they're really big on. More drama, a lot of drama. But yeah, we're seeing Shady Daniels. We're seeing the real Anton Daniels, who's not a good person, who's not a kind person, who's not a reasonable person. He's a weak man that's using power and money to get the type of woman he really wants, even though he's been married for 20-something years. And this is the thing we're all seeing. And a group of people on the internet are calling him out for it. But a group of people on the internet are leaving this alone because I think they like him. And like I said, this will blow over for him because it's not as big as what he did to me. But I think he's starting to get a little feel to have people you don't know talking about you, making sexual assumptions. And then this whole group of folks who got together after they assassinated my character, Erica Dumbass Williams, all these folks, people are like, yeah, come on my show, talk to me. I'm like, you're a fucking nobody. Why am I going to waste time talking to you? But once again, we see the reality. Shady Daniels. This is the real Anton Daniels.